I'm going to click on exclude intersection. Yes, and it cuts out the text. That is awesome. I am so excited about that. I used to have to go to Adobe Illustrator to do that, and it was a whole thing. Hey guys, do you ever feel like it's hard to stand out in a sea filled with similar designs? Today, I'm going to walk you through how you can use Kittl to separate yourselves from everyone else to elevate your designs using this new product category that Inner Circle Prints just launched recently, the Santa Sacks. We're going to be creating this design from scratch without any preliminary research, so you can see from start to finish what the process will look like inside of Kittl. First, we're going to start over here on incognito, and I just typed in Santa Sack. Now, disclaimer, Santa Sack actually is trademarked. So I would suggest that if you list these in your titles and your tags, you're using Santa bag and Christmas sack. You may be able to use Santa sack in your tags, but it's still somewhat questionable. So we're banking on Etsy still showing us in search for Santa sack, even though we're not putting that expressly in our title. So the first things that show up, let's just talk through some of the micro markets that we're seeing. So these are ads. We're going to ignore the ads. We've got North Pole Express mail with a Santa Claus silhouette. And we always need to be asking ourselves, if I'm going to launch into this micro market, how am I going to do it differently? We don't want to copy what they're doing. We want to do it better. So we've got a lot of stamps that are happening. Do not open before December 25th. With the names, you definitely need these to be personalized to add the value. Special delivery for, we're trying to find a market that we want to launch into for this design. So we've got the child's name in Christmas themed letters, Christmas Express, special delivery for, naughty and nice, check marks. Yeah, like a watercolor Santa and snowman image. This is an ad, but it's popular now. A monogram with Santa. Okay, for this example, what we should do is we should take this inspiration of the one that's right up top, the North Pole Express mail, and see how we can make it differently and make it better inside of Kittl. So I'm going to go ahead and screenshot this one. In the Inner Circle Prints catalog, you'll see the Santa Sacks right here. So if I click into it, the price on the small one, which is 5x7, is $4.49, and the price for the large one is $9.49. And the shipping for the first item is $3.99, and then each additional item is 99 cents. So if they purchase in bulk, you're going to get some more margin right there. Inner Circle Prints specifically created access for us to the small version so that we could have a loss leader. So personally in my shop, I'm listing the small ones for $9.99 and then the large ones for $19.99. I'm also including an ornament as a stair step in there with that price, so it doesn't jump from $9.99 to $19.99. It's going to be $9.99, $12.99 for the ornament option, and then $19.99 for the large Santa sack. And then notice that the full-size one has the red drawstrings, and then the smaller one has the white drawstrings, so you want to make sure that that's reflected correctly in your photo templates. All right, in Kittl, we're going to find the exact size that we need to be making this artwork. So I'm going to go to number 2 here and click on full size, and it's going to tell me the exact pixels. So the full size is 4165, and over here on Kittl, I just clicked on create project or new project. I'm going to type in 4165 for the width and 5950 pixels for the height. And we're going to zoom out. I can pull up my downloads or what's on my desktop and directly drag it into Kittl. So that's what I'm doing here for my inspiration. One of the best features in Kittl is the font options and how you can manipulate them. So let's try to create a North Pole text graphic that looks better than this one. I'm going to go over here to the text button and click on add headline. You can also click on show all with the templates and see if there's any fonts in here that resonate with you, and you can utilize them here because they already have the effects on them. You see how this one's arched. There's so many kinds of effects, and we're going to get into that so I can show you how to do that. But I'm just going to click on add headline and make it larger and type North Pole. Over here on the right where it says text style, let's click on that. The font options in Kittl are just superior to what you're going to find on other design softwares. And the good thing is that it connects directly with Inner Circle Prints. So I can set it up to where when I get an order, it'll direct me right here to this Kittl project, and I'll be able to download the artwork from Kittl and upload it into my ICP order. Okay, up here in the search bar, I'm gonna type, it gives me some options up here. I'm gonna click on vintage and see what shows up. I like this, maybe in lowercase. Let's do express mail in that and see. So I'm just kind of brainstorming here. I'm gonna hold down Option on my computer and drag it to duplicate it. And then we're gonna go back here and look for our North Pole text. I like that this one is called Jolly Glorious. I'm not loving it though. Let's keep looking. Okay, this is more of what I'm looking for, this Adventurer 02. And I'm gonna try it in all caps and see if I like that better. I could just click this TT button over here to make it all caps. All right, I definitely don't, because look at all of those little signatures for the letters. So we're gonna take off the all caps. Now let's say we wanna make it like a green instead of the red that they have going on. I'm gonna click on text color, scroll over to a green and get like a Christmassy dark green. I saw one that was on page 1 that was a blue that was doing well. I could try blue as well, but I'm gonna go for green since we're trying to do the whole Christmas theme here. Okay, so this is where it gets exciting with the effects that you can put on your text. I want it to be arched, but I don't want it to be arched like their North Pole. So I'm gonna go down here to transformation. I'm gonna click on arch and pull up the middle right here. So it gives you so much control over the effects that you can add to the fonts. I love with Arch that the edges are straight up and down. In Canva, it doesn't allow you to do that. It's angled on the edges. So this just looks more refined that it's straight up and down on the edges. And then I'm going to pull up the middle a bit. But here you can also go to distort and you can completely change. Like you can keep the bottom of it flat and just increase the top of it if that's the look that you're going for. If you want to take off the effect, then just click the little remove transformation button in the top right. I'm going to go back to arch and then pull up the arch a bit. Okay, so that's perfect. That's what I want for North Pole. And then Express Mail, let's see if I want it in this font or if we can find a better one. We definitely want to fill up the space here. I'm thinking about putting North Pole at the top, and then whatever graphic I use, if it's like a Santa, a different kind of Santa with reindeer, is going to be inside of it instead of on top of it. I definitely want to set myself apart from what they're doing. And also, this is where when you're doing your research and you're looking at all of the key design attributes inside of this product type, so whatever they may be snowflakes, they may be reindeer, they may be snowmen. This is where you can mix and match all of those elements to fill a gap in the market. With this example, we're kind of just remaking what they did in a better way, which you also can do, but it's not the only way to go about it. At Inner Circle Prints, we teach you extract all of the design attributes from the product type, and then you find the gaps in the market. I just wanted to clarify that, but for this example, I just want to kind of show you guys what Kittl is capable of. So let's try to find a different font for Express Mail. Let's type in Christmas and see what shows up. There's so many different fun fonts here that you could use for, like kids' names. I really like this one. I'm going to keep it right there. Duplicate it holding down Option, and then look one more time at the vintage. Let's look at handmade. No, let's go to vintage. Okay, let's scroll to the top. Okay, I think I like this one. It's also an adventurer font, so it kind of lends itself to going alongside this Adventurer 02 font. All right, so we're gonna make that a little bit smaller. Let's keep it in black for right now. And then I think we need a third font. One thing that I did notice is that some of them were saying express delivery, so let's just do that instead so that we're not exactly like them. So North Pole Express Delivery. Here it says, please deliver enclosed presents to. When we were looking at that page 1, I saw overnight delivery 4, so we're going to use that, and let's do it in like a typewritten font that looks kind of like it's coming from the post office. Let's see if they have one here. I'm going to come over here to paragraphs. I clicked on the text tool, go to paragraphs, and see if I can see at a glance what I'm looking for. I think this is what I'm looking for here. So it's all grouped together, so if you double click on it, it will ungroup. I'm going to get rid of that. This is called Space Mono. They do have Special Elite. Okay, so that led me over here to Special Elite. I like Special Elite more, so we're going to use that one. and we're going to type in overnight delivery 4 in all caps with a colon. All right, let me make this larger so you can see it. Now I definitely need some more letter spacing. So I'm going to come over here to the right, and right here where it says AV with the arrows, I'm going to increase that to 80. Let's see, that's a little bit better. I think we could do more. Let's do 100. Overnight delivery 4. And this is where I'm going to try the name in both of these fonts and see if one of them looks good. You usually want to limit the amount of fonts that you use to 3 max. I feel like with the Santa bags though, it may be a product where you could utilize more fonts, because it's like you have all of this information from the post office. So you got the stamp, you got the badge, you got the North Pole Express mail. So it's okay if you use more. I just want to see if a name looks good in these fonts. Let's do Olivia. We definitely want to make the name large because it's the value point. It's the personalized part of the product. And we're going to center it. It's okay. Let's try it in this other font and see if we like it better. So Adventurer 02, Olivia. Yeah, I like it better. I like it better in that font. It just looks more Christmas magic. I'm gonna make it a bit smaller. We got way too much black going on here compared to the green that we had going on at the top. We'll see what the O looks like undercase. Not as exciting. So we're gonna keep it uppercase. Make sure it's centered. I'm also not loving the green. I'm thinking we may go with the red, but let's just try it with the green. So once you try to open up the text colors over here, you'll see the document colors right here. Kittl has them right here, and we'll just click on that. If you ever want to add a text effect, you can do that as well. So down here under text shadow and text decoration, you can add a drop shadow, a detailed 3D shadow, and then you can kind of play around with the colors over here. So maybe I want the outline to be black and I want the drop shadow to be gray. It's just some ways that you can make it look more 3D, more embossed. If you want to play around with that, let's try a drop shadow on this one. Drop shadow. And we're going to make it that green and then go darker and increase the offset. And we can also mess with the angle of the offset. I want it to be more to the right and a bit darker green. Okay, I don't think I need a shadow on this, but I wanted to show you how to do that. So I'm going to click the remove text shadow to get rid of it. Text decoration is similar. You can put different effects on your text. It works better whenever you're pairing it with these kind of effects though. So let's say I keep that and then I go to text decoration and add in the lined effect. It just looks better when you have it outlined. So let's take that off of Olivia's name and let's take off the text decoration. So it's still green. I do like that outline though, and that light gray in there. So we got North Pole Express delivery, overnight delivery for Olivia. And now we need to add some graphics. So Kittl has elements in here that we can utilize. We can also pull them in from elsewhere and vectorize them inside of Kittl. So when I say vectorize them, that means that we would turn it from a graphic to an editable graphic. So let's say it comes in as black, you can then change it, vectorize it to where you can change the color of it. So let's do that as an example. Let's go over to creative. Okay, I like these. I like how it looks like they're taking off right there. So I'm going to download that. And then I'm going to go to uploads, which is this little up arrow. Upload. This is the one that I'm going to upload. So when I get it over here, I see that it is absolutely not as detailed as I wanted it to be. I need something with more detail. You see how the snowflakes are all splotchy? That's not good enough. So we're getting rid of that. Let's try this one instead. Okay, we're going to try it with the trees, but the trees look like it's probably too much. So what I'm going to do is over here on the right, you see how right now there's no ability to change the color. Over here on the right, I'm going to click on vectorize, and you have to choose how many colors are in the image. Vectorize image. So now it's completely editable, which is huge. And it was faster than what it takes me to vectorize something inside of Adobe Illustrator. Now you can change the colors of the illustration. So what I'm going to do is I click on the graphic. I'm going to try to erase the trees. So I'm going to go up here to the eraser button, and it's saying that I need to rasterize it in order to erase. Converting this vector layer to a flat image means some editing features will be limited. So we're going to rasterize it again in order to delete the trees. Okay, we're in eraser mode. And there's just so much precision with the eraser tool inside of Kittl. It's gonna make your life a lot easier. So we're getting rid of the trees. Let's see if there's anything else that I need to get rid of. We'll see how it's gonna fit up here. Let's get rid of some of these dots and stars just to make it look a little bit more random. I don't really like the dots. I prefer the little stars. Okay, I'm gonna click exit eraser mode. Now, if we were to zoom in on it, it doesn't look blurry. I was afraid it was going to look blurry, but let's go ahead and change it back to a vectorized image so we can change the color if we choose to. Okay, and then over here you can change it to whatever. Say we want to make it like a deep red. Okay, we're probably going to go back to black. Honestly, I just wanted to show you the option to change the color of the graphics. North Pole Express Delivery. And then here we can add a couple stamps. So we've got do not open until December 25th. And then another North Pole stamp. I'm going to go over here to illustrations and see what kind of stamps they have in Kittl. And it's not really the kind of distressed ones that I'm looking for. For this one, let's go down here and click on ellipse for the shape tool over here. And then I'm going to hold down option and duplicate it, make it a bit smaller, change the color to white, place it right over the middle of that one. Now when I select both of them, this tool over here is kind of like the pathfinder that you see in Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator. I'm going to click on exclude intersection and it's going to make it only the outline. One thing that I love about Kittl too is I use it a lot for apparel because I like to have a distressed effect on my shirts to make them look more retro. So I'm going to show you how you can do that with this. Over here in Kittl on the side, you can click on textures and they have all of these preset textures. So I usually go to grunge textures and I'm going to click on one. So to select the artboard, you click on the title of the artboard and then I'm going to click on that texture. Instead of color burn, I like to do alpha mask at the bottom and it adds the texture on top of it just to make it look a little bit more distressed. And another cool feature of Kittl now is that you can download this directly from this artboard. So before it was a little tricky because you would have to go to download and select the artboard, but you can download it directly from here. So I'll go to quick export right here to a PNG and it downloaded it to my computer. And I'm going to pull it right back in over here. Make sure that you click the artboard and not just the element because you can download elements as well. So click on the artboard to make sure that you get that texture in it. Quick export, advanced settings. I want to make sure that I remove the background and optimize the quality. And then I'm going to pull it back in over here. And then there's my little stamp outline with the grunge effect on it. Of course, if you have elements inside of Canva that you like, you can always pull those over too. But I wanted to show you how to make that. All right, let's duplicate this. Let's make our stamp say official sleigh mail. We're going to make it a lot smaller. We're going to transform it to a circle. And then if I pull in at the bottom of the circle, it's going to arch it more like that. I do want the text itself to be smaller. I was having trouble selecting it, so I took off the transformation and added it back. And then we're going to place it right there. All right, the bottom of our stamp, we wanted to say Santa approved. So I'm going to duplicate it and then I'm going to click on direction inverted over here on the right. That looks good. Instead of doing the little reindeer again, let's do a Christmas tree and some stars inside of that. Okay, we're going to look up Christmas tree and pull that image over. You see that when it's centered with an element, it has that line through it. And we're going to make the middle say North Pole Express Mail. So of course this you could do in a different font if you wanted to. I'm okay with this font, so I'm going to go with it. Take off the transformation and make North Pole larger. I might even decrease that letter spacing. And then we're going to add some stars down here at the bottom. Let's do these. They look kind of vintagey. And then we're going to make the one in the middle a bit larger than the other two on the outside. Smaller. Place it kind of beneath. And then I'm going to select all three by holding down Shift and selecting them all. And click Group. You can also do Command G to group them. Okay, so now I just need to add these little pieces, these little lines to the side of it. I'm also going to select the entire thing and group it, Command G. That way if I turn it, the entire thing is going to turn. See if there's any squiggly lines over here we could use. This actually works really well. So it's under ornaments here and then calligraphy. I'm going to click on this one and make it black and smaller. and we're gonna do 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Select them all and group them. I don't really want them to be overlapping the text that I made, so I'm gonna pull them over here to the side a bit. Yeah, and that looks great for my stamp. And the last thing that I need to add over here is do not open until December 25th. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come over here to my shape builder. Actually, I can just go over here to shapes, basic shapes, and just pull in a square here. And then I can make it wider. Let's see, on this, I can actually change the border over here on the right. We can make the border stroke black, and then the color itself, if I click on this little eyeball right here on the right of color, it will make the inside transparent. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to have the outline, decrease that border weight a bit, and then we're going to add another shape right here in the middle. Make sure that this is black like the outline. Okay, let's say I don't want that texture anymore. Over here, I'm going to click on Release Texture and hit Backspace. This, as you see, the edges are being a little bit curved because it's the shape that I chose. So I can actually click on this little radius button and pull it and really control how much curve that has. Okay, that looks better. Let's do this font for Until. We're going to make it white. These Santa bags are sublimation printed, so the white will not be printed because it's not inside of sublimation. Let's add some letter spacing so it's not just in the middle there. Until, do not open until December 25th. Okay, we're going to decrease this letter spacing a bit just to make sure that it fits in there. I think that looks great. So what I'm going to try to do, just to kind of test this out because I haven't tried this before, I'm going to make the background red so that we can see through it. I'm going to click on Until, and then I'm going to hold down Shift and click on that square behind it, the rectangle. And for Shape Builder, I'm going to click on Exclude Intersection. Yes, and it cuts out the text. That is awesome. Oh my gosh. Select all of it and group, and then I'm going to pull it over here. I am so excited about that. I used to have to go to Adobe Illustrator to do that, and it was a whole thing. I think I would also consider throwing some stars around here just to add something else to tie in the Santa sleigh element. And also, if I were to redo this, I probably would choose a different graphic because when we vectorized it, it took out some of the detail of Santa's face and the reindeer. So I would definitely do that a little bit differently. So just to remind you guys, it's not ideal to just go in, do the same design, only slightly different. Only do that if it's only happening 1 or 2 times in the market and you can be the third person and you can make it better. I do think we're adding more value with the fact that our North Pole looks better. The text is at the top, it's arched like that, it's green. A lot of the other elements are really similar. But I just wanted to show you the capabilities inside of Kittl. If you guys want to try out Kittl, you can try their free version and see if it's for you. Or if you're ready for the paid version, then I have a code for 25% off in the description if you want to try it out. So let's say this is your design and you're ready to hook it up to ICP. First of all, I would go ahead and create an artboard for the small size in case someone orders it. So 1050 by 1500. And we're going to change the size, 1050 by 1500. And I'm going to select all of my art and hold down Option, duplicate it, and make it much smaller to fit right here on this artboard. Make sure that you optimize the space and center it. Okay, so now when I'm going into ICP to hook this up, I'm going to have my Etsy store hooked up. So the first thing I'm going to do is launch this design on my mockups on Etsy. And then when I come in here to the catalog, I'm going to type in the name of my product. Number 2, this is just the templates that you can access. Number 3, here, we're going to do a direct link to this Kittl document. I'm just going to copy and paste the URL on the top. And then when I'm in Safari, which is what I'm using right now, if I'm logged into Kittl, it'll automatically give me access to it to edit. So I'm going to post that link here. With the thumbnail, what I usually do is whatever mockup I created, I'll just upload that here, upload product thumbnail. And then I will click on link your product to Etsy, and my Etsy listings will appear. And I'll click on the Santa sack inside of Etsy that I created. And it's going to link it via the Etsy listing ID. And then I will click add to products. Now let's say that you have an ornament inside of yours as well. Then You will have SKUs inside of Etsy. You will have a SKU for the full-size Santa sack, the small Santa sack, and the ornament. So here when you go click link your product to Etsy, you're going to select the 2 Santa sacks and it'll ask you to add the Kittl link again to those. You will then do that and then you'll save to your products. You'll go back to the catalog, go to the ornament, and when you get to this point where you're about to link it, it'll be grayed out, and then to the right it will say Assign SKU. Click on Assign SKU and you will select the ornament SKU, and then you'll add it to your products. My favorite parts are the fonts, and then some of these other tricks like adding textures, removing the background with the pathfinder, and I'm excited to get into the AI capabilities with you in our next video. So let me know what else you would like to learn about Kittl, and we will keep elevating our design so we can make more money with print on demand.